friends, this is Kalyan from Kalyan Tutorials. Welcome to the lecture 2, that is Basics of Transformer. In the earlier video, that is in the lecture 1, I have explained some basics that are related to transformer like right hand curl rule and why transformer is used in our electrical engineering. So now in this video we are going to learn some important concepts like, so by the end of this lecture, you will be able to know the concepts of Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, Lenz's law, and Dowd convention used in the transformers. And the most important thing, as I have said in the lecture 1 in the definition, like the transformer is a device which transfers electrical energy from one circuit to another circuit by means of magnetic field. Now we are going to see how that electrical energy is actually being transferred through magnetic field. So by end of this lecture, you will be able to know about these four concepts. So let's start with the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Coming to the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction definition, it can be given as it states that when magnetic field or flux linking with the coil changes with respect to time, then an EMF is induced across the coil, and it is represented by, or it is given as E is equals to, that is EMF induced is equals to minus N d phi by dt. In most of the books we will be seeing here minus, but it depends on totally as whether it is plus sign or minus sign. We can take any of the sign, whether it might be plus or minus sign, and this plus or minus sign is due to the Lenz's law. Now in most of the books you will be seeing only minus sign, but we can also take plus sign. Why we can take minus and why we can take plus, it totally depends on how we are treating the load polarity. So it depends on that particular concept. I will explain that one also. So coming to the Lenz law definition, it states that the polarity of induced EMF is such that if it allows to cause a current, then the current so produced must oppose the cause. So in order, whatever this plus or minus sign is there, right? This plus or minus sign indicates the polarity of the induced EMF, and this plus or minus sign indicates that it should be in opposition to the cause that has been causing to induce EMF in the current. If I have to explain with an example, uh, let us take an iron core. This is an iron core, and we have some winding on it. In this way, winding is wound on that core in this way. Now assume we have a time varying flux, and this flux is directed this way as phi m. This is nothing but flux with respect to omega t, or you can take it as omega. So this is the varying flux. Now here uh, there is a switch and load. Now, according to the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, whenever a flux linking the coil changes with the time, then an EMF is induced across the coil. So, I am assuming that there is a flux linking this particular coil. This is only assumption, and now no, we should not ask like where is this flux suddenly phi m has been come into the action. Just assume that flux phi m is there, which is linking with the coil, and the nature of this flux is varying with respect to time, and this I have considered it as a sinusoidally it has been varying. Now to satisfy the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, we have flux which is varying with time, and it is linking a coil wound on a iron core or a magnetic material core. So what happens? Definitely the EMF should be induced across this particular coil. So assume that an EMF has been induced across these two terminals. Still we don't know the polarity of this induced EMF. The polarity can be assumed, or we can consider by using Lenz's law. It states that the polarity of induced EMF, the polarity of this particular induced EMF of this coil is such that if it allows to cause a current, if it allows to cause a current in the sense Whenever the circuit is in the closed position only, then only the current appears in the circuit. If I close this particular switch S, then the current starts flowing, and then the current so produced must oppose the cause. Now here again we make use of right hand curl rule. As I said, the flux, whatever the assuming flux, this particular flux is there, right? That particular flux phi m at one particular instant, I'm assuming that particular instant be some t naught. At t naught the flux is phi m, so this flux direction is in the upward direction. So this flux is responsible for the inducing emf. This flux is responsible for the emf to appear across these two terminals. So if I close this switch, then current will develop in this particular circuit. According to the Lenz law, if current is produced, then current so produced, if current is developed in this circuit, then the current direction must oppose the cause. So here the whatever the current direction will be there in this particular windings, that should oppose the cause. Here the cause is nothing but your flux phi m. And from right hand curl rule, uh, if whatever the this is the flux coming out of this particular iron core, this is the cause. Now now the current direction should be such that uh, this whatever the current direction will be there, that should be opposing to the this flux, such which means that the current direction should be in this way. If current direction is in this way, then only the resultant flux developed due to this particular currents, that using the right hand curl rule. Now if you apply right hand curl rule, when your curl represents the direction of current flowing through the wire, then your thumb represents the north pole. So north pole in the sense it is coming out of the pole. So this is the here the flux phi r, which is the nothing but your resultant flux is coming outward. Here this flux phi r is in opposition with this phi m. So our Lenz law has been satisfied because it is uh, opposing the main flux, or you can call it as the cause which is been appearing. So this particular flux will oppose the this cause only when the current direction is as shown. So for the current, therefore the current direction would be in this way. So now we got till now we have got the current direction, and opposition flux has been created. Now it's time to plot the polarity of the EMF. Now this switch is in the closed position, because when the switch is in the closed position means only then only the current starts flowing. So whenever a current is entering into any load, we generally take it as a positive. Here here this is the load, and the current is coming in this way. So current entering into any element or load, we assume it as a positive terminal, and leaving terminal as a negative one. Therefore the direction of the EMF is in this way. If you assume in that there is no need like you should take this plus and this should be minus. It can be of your choice. You can plot this one as minus and this one as plus. But here you have to take care of, if you are plotting the polarity of the EMF according to the Lenz law, then whatever the EMF will be there, that would be positive value. Here it will be V. And if you plot the polarity of the EMF against to the Lenz law, then you need to take a minus V value. Both the voltages means the same, but how you are representing only matters. So this is how both Faraday's law and Lenz law are responsible for a particular mathematical equation like E is equals to plus or minus n d phi by dt. If you just remember this only one expression, you can easily decode all the definitions from it. Plus or minus sign indicates the Lenz law, and d phi indicates the change in flux, and dt indicates the change in time. These two result in the Faraday's law, and this one directly indicates the Lenz law. So this is how one needs to remember the Faraday's law and electromagnetic induction. Let us try to understand the same with another example. Assume this is a ideal transformer core, and we have windings in this way. Sorry. And the winding has been wound in this way around the core what we have taken. So there are four windings. So the first winding is this one. Uh, this is E1, and the second winding is in this way. Let us name it as some E2. And the third winding is wound in this way. And this be the E3, and the last winding has been wound in this way. Now, by say assume that this has N1 turn, N2 turn, N3 turns, and N4 turns, and similarly, uh, I am assuming it to be there is a flux flowing through the iron core, and that flux is varying with respect to time. This is flux phi, and at one particular instant called T naught, its value is phi m, that is the maximum value, and it has been varying sinusoidally for a reference sake or for an example purpose. So there is a flux phi which has been flowing in this direction. This is the flux phi direction. So this is the case. Now if I need to tell the value of E1 here, E1 is nothing, we can give it by n d phi by dt, n1 here. Here it would be n2 d phi by dt. Here it would be n3 d phi by dt. Similarly, here also we can write like n4 d phi by dt. But the main concept here we are missing right is whether I have to write here plus or minus. Similarly in the all the four cases. Now let us using right hand curl rule, and by making use of Lenz's law, we are going to find the polarity of the induced EMF E1, E2, E3 and E4 respectively. So we need to find the polarity of the EMF. In order to find the polarity of EMF, first there should be a current flowing through the conductors. If current flows, then only we can find the polarity of the EMF. So as there is a varying flux with respect to time, definitely EMF got induced. And if in this particular N1 turns, when the current will be produced when this circuit is totally closed. Now assume that this N1 turns has been closed by means of any load. Therefore, the current develops. Now, the direction of the current should be such that it should oppose this particular flux direction which is originally present before the development of uh, this induced EMF E1. So, whatever the current flowing through this particular uh, E1 N1 turns should be in opposition to the flux phi. So in order to oppose that, your thumb should be placed downwards opposite to this particular direction. If your thumb faces downwards, then current direction would be represented in this way. So if your current direction is in this way, then the according to the right hand curl rule, whatever the magnetic field will be there, that will be in opposition with this particular flux which is this one. So if this is therefore the current direction is something like this, and I have said there is a load assumed here. So as there is a load here and the current is incoming like this, so I will take it as positive and this is a negative. This is my way of selecting the polarity. You can take it as minus and this is plus, but you need to change the value even to a minus even. So that is somewhat complicated when we do problems with minus number. So we will take polarity with respect to or in accordance with the Lenz's law. Similarly, now we will try to find the current direction here. The flux is in this direction. Which flux? The original flux which is responsible for the cause of EMF is in this direction. Now place your thumb in this direction and check your curl direction where it is showing. The curl direction will be showing like this, which means that the current is entering into this point and leaving from this particular point. Therefore, this is plus and this is minus, since I am assuming some load has been connected here. So here it is plus. Here also it is plus. My all values will be plus because I am considering in accordance with the Lenz's law. Similarly, here now EMF has been induced. Very fine. Now the original current, the original flux which is responsible for induction of EMF is in this direction. Now place your thumb opposite to the flux which is responsible for the EMF production. So if you place your flux in this way, I mean thumb in this way, then the curl will be showing something like this direction. So which means that current is coming from this direction, uh, entering in this way. So here the some load has been there. So towards the load is coming means this is the plus and this is minus. Similarly for this one, the original flux direction is in this way. Place your thumb opposite to the direction and now check your curl direction. The curl direction would be in this way, which means this one plus terminal and this is minus terminal, since here some load has been there in this way. So in this way we can identify the positive and negative terminals of the induced EMF across any particular load. So till now we have studied about Faraday's law. Faraday's law is responsible for the induction of EMF in a coil when it experiences a change in flux with respect to time, and its direction is given by Lenz's law, which means that these are like same sides, two different sides of a same coin. Both are interlinked to each other. So another thing we need to learn is dot convention. In the same figure, I will explain you what is dot convention. For suppose there is an ideal core in this way, and it has some number of windings like N1, N2, N3 like this. Suppose this is plus, this is minus, this is plus, this is minus. It we don't write plus and minus here. Fine. This is the even. Now, if you see any dot here, which means that dot convention is nothing but for a definition purpose or to remember, like dots are used to know relative sense of windings of any core. Dot convention is just a simple representation, you can say. It is nothing to do with the concept. It's just a representation used to find the or used to know the relative sense of the windings of any core. Suppose here I have N1 and N2 turns in this way on a same core. Here the EMF induced is E1 with polarity plus as here and minus as here, and at the plus sign I have seeing a dot here, and other side suppose I have dot here, which means that here at the one terminal, I mean at the one turn, that is at N1 side, if the dot is indicating the plus turn, therefore the whatever the questions will be framed, the other he won't give plus here, he will just mention the dot, which means that you need to reflect the this plus to here, which means that because here he already said that plus is nothing but the dot one, so simply in the next winding he has placed the simply a dot here. So if this is a plus, then this will be negative, and many of the students think like dots will always represent a positive value, positive polarity. It's not like that. It can be of anything. Like another winding I have in this way. This is minus and this is plus. I have dot here, and something winding I have here. I have dot here. Here dot means again the minus sign will come here, because in the first winding whatever the dot is been used, that is been used for the minus sign. So here also you need to take the minus sign. This is only the simple example. uh, what happens is in exams, for making you confused, how the questions will be framed, like uh, let me change the color. So assume a core in this way, and it has windings in this particular fashion, and the other side the winding has been done in this way. Now the flux direction has been given in this way, which is responsible for the production of EMF E1 here and E2 here. So with this particular information, now we are able to find the direction and the polarity of the EMFs. So if the original flux is in this way, then the current flowing will be uh, so for simplicity purpose I will explain once again. If this is the original flux, place your thumb opposite to this particular flux direction, which is responsible for EMF induction. If your thumb is in this way, then the curl represent your current flowing through it. So this will be plus and this will be minus, as I assume load here. So this is the polarity of this particular direction. So for suppose if I assume plus here, and this is the dot I have been used. Now in this winding, the original flux direction is in this way. The resultant should be in this way. Therefore, the flux should be, the current should be flowing in this particular direction. So this is plus terminal and this is minus terminal. Now here, this time the particular dot which has been representing your plus sign has been interchanged to the down terminal. So never think that here if it is dot, then exactly on the upper side of the left winding should be in this way. That's not the case. It can be up or down, or it can be upside down. It doesn't matter. What the thing that matters is the polarity of the induced EMF only. It matters. So this is the figure which is being used in the book, standard book PS Bimra, and this type of figures can be seen in any some numericals. So with this thing, we have completed the three main topics of this video, that is Faraday's law, Lenz law, and the dot convention. And the leftover thing that we need to discuss is how this actually uh, magnet electrical energy is there, right, in any circuit. So it is how this electrical energy is being transferred by means of magnetic field, especially in the transformers. So let us see how this is happening. With the help of this particular numerical, we are going to understand three concepts. Those are Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, Lenz law, and how the magnetic energy is responsible for the transfer of electrical energy without any physical contact. So this is what actually in a transformer goes on. So assume this is a iron core which has 2000 turns wound on it, and some load has been connected to it, and assume there is some bar magnet or any magnet which is uh, which is beside the iron core, and when this bar magnet is at position A, it is offering an flux of 5 milliwebers as it is very near. In the position B, the flux offered by this same magnet has been changed into 2 milliwebers. So obviously, if the distance between the core and the magnet decreases, then definitely the flux or the opposite, the flux intensity will be definitely reduced. That is why in the first position A, it was 5 milliwebers, and in the position B, it is 2 milliwebers as shown in the question. So these are those. So here from position A to position B, the time taken by the magnet to change from position A to position B is 1 by 10th second. Now what happening is that the Faraday's law of action has been satisfied, because the flux linking with this particular iron core has been changed with respect to time, because it has been changed from 5 milliweber to 2 milliweber with a variation of time from 0 to 1 by 10th of the second. So we know that EMF E is given by plus or minus, you can take it any way as you like it, minus d phi by dt. So what happening is, uh, E is equals to plus or minus, here the n value is nothing but 2000 turns. So 2000 into d phi is nothing but change in flux. What was the change in flux? It was before 5, now it is 2 milliwebers, as it is milli 10 into 10, 10 power minus 3 by what's the time taken from, what is the time that has been taken to appear this particular change from 5 milliweber to 2 milliweber, that is given in the question like 2 milliwebers. So 2 into 10 power minus 3. So E is equals to plus or minus, sorry, here it is not 2, it is 1 by 10, because the time was taken like 1 by 10th of a second. So it is 1 by 10. 1 by 10 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So the resultant would be plus or minus 60 volts. So we got 60 volts magnitude of voltage across the load, and this polarity will be dependent upon the Lenz law. Now what does the Lenz law say? It has to oppose the current, whatever the current flowing through this winding should oppose the cause for it. Here the cause is the movement of this particular bar magnet. So this current should be in opposition, it should create an opposition force for this movement of the magnet, such that therefore in order to create opposition force, this iron pole will act here as south pole. Here if it is south pole, this south and north pole will try to get attract each other. So this is opposing the movement of this magnet from position A to position B, and this position of movement of this magnet is due to some external factor. Maybe it's an machine done, or it is a human force acting on it, but it is an external force. And whatever the current has been flowing through this, as there is a load, so this current will produce a pole here such that it will oppose this movement of this magnet. Yeah, as here it is north pole, definitely the core should behave here it as south pole. For having south pole here, the current direction should be in this way according to the right hand curl rule. So the current direction will be in this way in these windings. So as the current direction is in this way, this terminal will act as positive and this terminal will act as negative for me. So if I need to consider according to the Lenz law, plus sign will appear across it. So this is the EMF that has been induced across the load. Now here the important concept here we need to assume, like, for suppose I am assuming here the load is variable. Now I have increased the load. In electrical terms, load is increased means it simultaneously refers that current has been increased. If load increases, then current is increased. So current flowing, if current flowing through this 2000 tons has been increased, means for suppose before it was 10 amperes of magnitude, as load has increased, now it is 20 amperes. So due to this 20 amperes, whatever the magnitude of this magnetic south pole will be there, this will also be increased. Therefore magnetic intensity of this pole will be increased. Therefore the movement of this particular bar magnet by external force will be the will be very hard, which means for suppose before for a movement of this magnet from position A to position B, it required only 5 newtons of force. But due to variation in load, the current has been increased. Due to the increase in current, the magnetic intensity of this particular south pole has been increased. Therefore, the attraction force between this iron core south pole and the magnet north pole will increases. Therefore, it will oppose the force that has been causing the magnet to move from one position to other position. Therefore, now position as the intensity has been increased, now the for movement of the same magnet from position A to position B, now we require 10 newtons of force. So if you apply, so this particular scenario, like if current is increased, then force that is required to change the magnet from one position to another position should also be increased. So this is how an actually a transformer works. Here you can see this, whatever this current is nothing but your electrical energy. Due to the increase in electrical energy, the force that you are applying on the magnet should be very high. Suppose in simpler terms, if I have to explain, here you are applying force to move the magnet from one position to another position. This same force is being compensated by the load here due to the increase in the current. Whatever the current has been increased in this load is being compensated by the movement of the force. So here there is an exchange of energy. This Newton force has been exchanged in terms of current indirectly through means of magnetic field. This is how an actually a transformer works. Hope you have understand the concept how electrical energy is being transferred through magnetic field. This is the concept. Try to uh, listen the same video once again for getting clarity. So in this video we have covered three topics like Faraday's law, Lenz's law, dot convention, which is a very simple concept, and the magnetic field is how magnetic field is responsible for the change of electrical energy from one circuit to another circuit without any physical means. So that's all for this video, friends. This is Kalyan, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.